Hello everyone, I'm Tyron Jensen from Type Fitness Solutions and I'm a health and performance coach, and today this mini course is what I want to talk to you about is liver health and detoxification. So first of all, I want to give you a little bit of background myself. I love educating people about health, fitness, nutritional medicine and overall biology and chemistry on how that affects your health. Over the years, I spent multiple hours educating myself, and also thousands of hours educating myself with alternative seminars and understanding nutritional medicine, biochemistry, strength performance, exercise physiology. Now, when we're looking at health and fitness, as you can see there up at the top right-hand corner, that was me at high school. So I wasn't not genetically gifted at all. I've had to work really hard to understand health and how the body functions effectively relative to what mainstream information is out there. And as you can see, I've done a few transformations myself there, getting myself into really good shape and trying to maintain that as much as possible. Now, when we're looking at helping people is helping people to help them understand knowledge. Now, without knowledge, we can't apply anything. So my ability to help people is getting them to understand why, when, and how they need to do something. And things people say to me is like, oh, it's so expensive, I can't afford it. Well, people say health is expensive. I say it's expensive not to be healthy. So relative to your energy levels, your vitality, your happiness, medical bills in the future, and the quality of life that you can live comes down to the money and the time that you invest in yourself. Now, talking about liver health and liver detoxification, we detox the body every single day, and taking our time to understand how these premises work is really important. As you can see, this is a transformation there of a female that came and see me that had PCOS. As I'll talk a little bit before, PCOS is a regulatory issue related to polycystic ovary syndrome. So cysts grow on your ovaries, on females' ovaries, which can create an endocrine imbalance. And these sorts of things can really affect relative to detoxification pathways and liver health as well too. So the purpose of this slide here is to get you to understand that it takes time. This was a year transformation, but as you can say, a year from now, I'm sure you would be extremely happy if you were in this position here at the start. Now, with every new day comes new strength and new possibilities and new thoughts, Eleanor Roosevelt. So helping people transform their lives just through getting new knowledge and new health into their mindset can really help you take new strides. Now, the liver's job relative to fat-soluble toxins, water-soluble toxins, and waste is nutrient dependent. So there's technically three phases of detox. Phase one is turning fat-soluble toxins into water-soluble, and phase two is a conjugation pathway of excreting those water-soluble toxins out through your excretory systems like urine, feces, and sweat. And this pathway is nutrient dependent. So when your body is deficient in specific nutrients, these functions become diminished and can really slow down your ability to detoxify foreign toxins like xenoestrogens, pesticides, phthalates, everything that can actually mimic estrogen and testosterone markers that can actually affect your endocrine system and actually cause you to hold fat. And as we go through here, we'll understand what happens when the liver can become backed up. Now, liver function test is a test that's done through your GP, through pathology, which can test your ALT, ALP, and AST and GGT levels. Now, these are proteins that elevate in your blood to recognize specific breakdown of tissue, which is elevating inflammation markers and protein markers in your blood. So you give you an indication of what actually is going on with your liver. The liver function, it's not just for detoxification. The liver is very important. Carbohydrate metabolism, lipid metabolism, protein metabolism, processing of drugs and hormones. If we go to the next slide here, excretion of bilirubin, which is a product relative to bile production, synthesis of bile salts, storage, phagocytosis, and activation of vitamin D. So all these things there is extremely important to having healthy liver. So carbohydrate metabolism, as specifically related back there to PCOS and polycystic ovary syndrome, is carbohydrate and insulin resistance, and carbohydrate metabolism is very common with females that have PCOS relative to the stress response in the body. So you're elevating cortisol, you're elevating blood glucose, which makes your carbohydrate metabolism less efficient, and you can create insulin resistance. So the liver is a very, very important organ for fat loss. Digestion. So the synthesis of bile salts. So the liver is very, very important for processing bile, which breaks down our fats. Now, if we're not breaking down our fats, we can't absorb vitamins A, D, E, and K effectively because they're fat-soluble vitamins. And vitamin D also is very important for insulin regulation and carbohydrate metabolism as well too. So if you're not activating vitamin D, you're going to have deficiencies in magnesium absorption, and that's also going to help stress relative to cortisol production and stress elevation, which can create more excessive fat. So when should we test the liver? So when we're getting jaundice, which is, swelling and yellowish skin pigmentation, dark urine, light colored bowel movements, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, vomiting or blood, bloody or black bowel movements, swelling in the pain or belly, so ascites. So this is where digestion comes into massive parts. So if people come in and they have excessive bloating, normally a liver function test can help that, because obviously the liver is very important there for digestion as well and assimilating nutrients. And so if we've got a toxic body, we can actually elevate histamine and stress hormone as well. Unusual weight change or fatigue or stamina, which is normally the common bottom three, are normally the common complaints of why people come in to see me relative to losing weight and having struggles. Now, this is an interesting schematic that is taken from clinical experiments of hepatology. This is relative to SIBO, so small intestinal bacterial overgrowth and toxic components of the liver. So lipopolysaccharides are toxic components that can be generated by the liver when the liver is swollen or stressed. So if you've got elevated liver enzymes, now you've got what's called a hepatic portal vein. So if we go back here, you can see the hepatic portal vein actually connects into your stomach. So what your liver's actually doing is it's dumping toxic exposure from elevated liver enzymes or lipopolysaccharides that are generated into your gut and your intestinal tract, upsetting your microbiome and actually contributing to small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So having a toxic liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, any sort of stenosis or any sort of liver breakdown or tissue degeneration in the liver, excessive alcohol consumption can have major sort of effects overall. Now, also here, how important the liver is. Now, the liver disorders the synthesis of storage and function. So glucose proteins, lipoprotein, cholesterol, bile salts. So the liver is important for manufacturing cholesterol. So its job is to take HDL, heavy density lipoprotein, will pick up LDLs in your arteries and bring them back to your liver to synthesize cholesterol and synthesize sex hormone production, so estrogen and testosterone as well too. It can decrease coagulation factors, so platelet aggregation, decrease cholesterol, so it can actually decrease good cholesterol, impaired fat absorption, so you can get fatty stools and deficiency of fat-soluble vitamins, as I said before, edema and ascites, so what you get is you can get swelling, fluid retention, bloated bellies, and then disorders of the metabolic and excretory functions of the liver. So amino acid conversion to urea. So that's where you're breaking down proteins and you're separating the nitrogen group and you're exposing the urea or the ammonia from that, which obviously ammonia is a toxic compound if your body's not excreting it properly. Synthesization of steroid hormones, which can increase aldosterone. Aldosterone is a hormone that's regulated to our renin angiotensin aldosterone function. So it's our kidney excretion of fluid retention and sodium retention as well. Increased androgen and estrogen. So menstrual irregularities in women, gynecomastia, which is man boobs, and testicular atrophy in men, relative to shutting down sex hormone production through xenoestrogens and detoxification. Drugs, you won't detoxify drugs and you can have interactions and toxicity, especially if you're excessive alcohol or recreational drug user. Bilirubin and hyperbilirubinemia, which just create jaundice. So bilirubin is a product that's produced from breaking down red blood cells. And if that is not working effectively, that pathway, you can get jaundice, which is, swelling and yellow pigmentation of the skin. Now, how do we promote detoxification pathways? So what we're looking at is amino acids here. So glycine, taurine, glutamine, erythema, and arginine. These amino acids are maintained in specific foods. So lots of good quality proteins, lots of leafy greens, green vegetables for your folate consumption. And as you can see there, walnuts, split peas, mollusks, almonds, sesame seeds. So there's a whole bunch of foods there that help support detoxification pathways and helps the liver work effectively. But what is also really, really easy is convenience. Now, this is a studied with experimental hepatology, so clinical and experimental hepatology, about the importance of how coffee and liver disease. So liver disease is basically where you can contract any sort of liver dysfunction or stenosis, and the clinical evidence of benefit of coffee consumption, hepatitis B and C, as well as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and alcoholic fatty liver disease, improvement in liver enzymes, ALT, AST, GGTP, especially in individuals with risk of liver disease. So in intake, the research says 2 cups a day of organic coffee or more has been shown to associate with lower incidence of fibrosis, cirrhosis, lower hepatocellular carcinoma rates, and well as decreased mortality. So people are living longer. What also helps with detoxification is Ganoderma. Now, Ganoderma is a mushroom spore. It supports anti-aging, supports liver function, supports against allergies, and supports immunity. So what it does, it supports anti-aging by restoring the levels of interleukin-2 pathways, which are relative to inflammation and extreme stress. So everything works in the body relative to cortisol, histamine, interleukin pathways, and immune properties. So how this works is by restoring interleukin level 2 levels, you can actually regulate your immune response, which supports the immunity by upregulating lymphocyte stem cell lines. Now, how that works as well too, Ganoderma is also antibacterial. So a fermentation studies found that fermentation of Ganoderma lucideum extracts have shown prebiotic ability of polysaccharides, increasing the number of bifidobacteria. So what this is saying, it's actually a prebiotic and a probiotic combined together. So when you're looking at that liver pathway here, where you're looking at the lipopolysaccharides there, interacting with the mucosal lining of the GI tract, decreasing your microflora, you can increase the microflora by increasing Ganoderma and also cleaning the liver out by improving and drinking organic coffee. Now, the purpose of this is the benefits of Ganoderma also support circulation, provides more energy and vigor, boosts stamina, rejuvenates, clearer skin, oxygenates body, natural detoxification, I'd say, mental alertness, supports the immune system and improves body's healing capacity and supports quality of sleep. Now you can go to publishedmedicine.com and .gov and put in anything you like there relative to Ganoderma, and you'll come up with a lot of research supporting the facts. And the easiness of this is convenience. Now, what we've got is we've got a coffee that has been infused with Ganoderma. So we're getting a coffee that is actually a lot better for us. It's going to support everything related to liver function. It's going to decrease liver toxicity, which creates lipopolysaccharides, which is going to affect our gut microbiome. And within that, we are going to actually support phase 1 and phase 2 pathways by consuming a lot of leafy green vegetables. But what an easy way to support body's natural detoxification system by simply enjoying a daily cup of coffee with your friends and family. And it is proven that coffee drinkers are more likely to live longer than people that don't drink coffee. So an amazing way to put your daily routine to make you healthy and drink coffee for longevity. So the benefits of incorporating coffee with Ganoderma is a very, very easy delivery system to improve liver health and also support detoxification. So within that, I hope you have a lovely day. Enjoy yourself, enjoy today, and have a lovely, beautiful cup of coffee with your friends.